Hello and welcome to this episode of the Print on Demand Playbook Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, here with my co-host, Kerry. And in today's episode, we have some very special guests. We are speaking with Alexander and Sebastian from Koster, Skjorta. I really can't say that name, but their story is really crazy. These two started their clothing brand essentially 1 year ago, and they've already sold over 10,000 shirts just essentially using organic TikTok. Oh, and by the way, they're only 19 years old and they just graduated high school 1 year ago. In that time, they were able to quit their jobs and do this full time. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking all things design research, trend spotting, going viral on TikTok over and over again, and of course, how to turn those TikTok views into paying customers. But first, real quick, before we begin, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast. It really helps us reach new listeners and it helps you never miss an episode. Thank you so much. We are super excited that you are here. And just before we hop in, here's a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
This podcast is brought to you by Gelato, the world's largest print-on-demand network. Gelato enables individuals ranging from e-commerce entrepreneurs to artists and creatives to establish their own global business. The magic of Gelato is that they focus on local production. The item being delivered is produced in the country that the order is placed almost 90% of the time, leading to many benefits such as lower costs, faster delivery times, and most importantly, reducing carbon emissions. The focus on tech to knit together over 130 production facilities across 32 countries is truly unique. Thanks to this, they currently have the highest customer satisfaction score in the print-on-demand industry on Trustpilot. To check them out for yourself, go to sixfigurefounder.com/gelato and use the discount code PODPlaybook, all capital letters, to get 60% off your first order when placed within 72 hours. That's the number 6figurefounder.com/GELATO. You can also find the link and discount code in the podcast show notes or in the video description on YouTube.
Hello, Adrian here with Kerry, and I am super excited for today's interview. This is an interview with two very young guys that have seen a lot of success very early on, and I am just so excited to bring on Alex and Sebastian from, I know I'm gonna butcher this name, but I'm gonna try to say it, Koster, Skjorta. I'll have them pronounce it for you.
That was good, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to have them present it for you, but their story is absolutely unreal. I had a chance to meet these two at the Gelato Accelerator Summit a couple weeks back in Sweden, and I was just absolutely blown away by their knowledge at such a young age and their success. And they even did just a fire presentation for the entire group. So we're going to talk about it all, but let me just cut to the chase. Welcome, Alex and Sebastian.
Well, thank you. That was quite a presentation. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. We know you're busy, but there's so much we want to ask you, and I think that there's so many questions that our listeners are going to have. So I'm going to do my best to kind of, include those questions throughout, just to, trying to think of what our listeners will have. But why don't we just start really broad? Can you guys just introduce yourselves and tell everyone a little bit about yourselves, who you are, your story, and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so it all started like a year ago. I'm a heavy TikTok user myself. So I was just scrolling through TikTok after being finished with high school, having nothing to do. And I just saw like a TikTok of like a funny T-shirt saying like raise gas prices. And I thought like this could really work in Norway because like funny things like this really catches the eye, especially on TikTok. And then started the Norwegian store, and then Sebastian started the German store.
Yeah, so we're best friends. So I've been watching him doing throughout the whole process, and when it started blowing a little bit up in Norway, I thought to myself, why not do the same in Germany? So I hopped on and I started in Germany as well. And after a short while, we both quit our jobs, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Dang.
That is amazing.
That's so
That
cool.
is amazing. Oh man, I have so many questions for you guys. So let me just kind of sum up what you've said so far. You guys have been doing this for 1 year, correct?
1
Yeah.
year.
In Norway,
Okay.
1 year, and 8 months in Germany.
Yeah.
8 months in
Wow.
Germany. Okay, and I want to explore that a little bit and hear about how you did that, how you have like the Norwegian store and the German store. But I just want to get a little bit more information. So you guys have been doing this for 1 year. Alex, you were a heavy TikTok user, and we know that you guys, a lot of your explosive growth has come from free organic TikTok. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, we only market like organically on TikTok. We haven't done any paid advertising yet, which is really,
Right.
it's a new
Right.
concept, right?
Yeah, no, it's super impressive. And I saw on your website that you guys have delivered over 3,000 shirts. Is that correct?
Yeah, on the Norwegian one.
Norwegian one. And
Just the
German
Norwegian one.
Yeah,
The German one is around, I think, 7,000.
yeah,
Come on.
Wow. So you guys
10,000 shirts in a year.
yeah.
That's
Insane.
insane. Like you guys are
Your first
probably over a 6-figure brand in 1 year in American dollars.
Yeah.
Easily,
Yeah.
easily.
Just kind of
Yeah,
doing the
exactly.
math, you guys are
Multiple.
easily over. Wow, that is so impressive. There's so much I want to talk about. Let's just start by talking about kind of the idea of starting in Norway and targeting. Were you just targeting the Norwegian market? Was that the idea? And then you're like, well, Germany has a really big population. They could appreciate this too. And then started targeting the German. How did that all play out?
Yeah, we can talk about the Norwegian first, maybe. I was very like narrow-minded in the start. I thought, okay, this has already been done in US. It's saturated already. So I'm going to start in like a Norwegian version to really niche down to what I know in the market, because there was no Norwegian T-shirt brand like this.
Yeah.
That's where it started, and we just saw it really went well, and there was no competition in Germany.
Yeah, and since I'm half German, so I speak German fluently. That's why I thought also, why not just do it in German? Because like it's like the thought when somebody has done it before, you think it's saturated, but as soon as you do it in another language, it's a totally new market. So that's just what we've been doing.
Yeah, and
That's incredible.
yeah,
I was gonna
then
have
the-
one of the things I talk about here in the U.S. is like even within the U.S., you can niche down to your state, even because we have 50 plus states, and then even some people niche down to just their city, because some cities are multiple millions of people. So it's interesting that you guys did that, where you're at. I just had a quick question. Do you guys know approximately kind of what the market size was in Norway and then also in Germany, like population, or like how big could it get essentially?
Well, it's hard to say, because it's like the niche is just like funny T-shirts, so like anybody can find it funny, but then it's usually like teenager boys in the age from 13 to 25, I would say, that are like our main customers.
Yeah, so it's fairly broad actually, and it really catches on quickly, and that's why I think it works so well, because it's just free advertising, and it's really like, what is that T-shirt you're wearing? That you can wear that, right? And then they will ask you, well, where did you get that from? That's just crazy, and it spreads like wildfire.
And we also expanded a little bit, because it started with pretty niche specific memes, just like very specific things. But after a while, we've now done more like broader jokes and just generalized funny things that anyone can find funny.
Yeah, like wanted by the IRS. That's really
Right, I saw that.
Anybody can be wanted by the IRS.
Oh, that's so good. But
Essentially, you could keep expanding out to different languages, different countries. You could keep kind of doing the same thing, dude.
that's the idea. Yeah.
Awesome.
So clever. And so many people just don't even think about that. Most people just target the US. There's a huge population here, over 300 million people. But you guys, like, I'm looking at the population in Norway. As of 2021, it was 5.4 million people. And you guys have created a 6-figure brand in 1 year, just in the Norwegian population. Like, that is wild. And this is just going to be so inspirational for so many of the listeners, because I think a lot of people think they need to appeal to everyone, or they need to appeal to a massive population of people. But you guys have proven that that's not the case. So that's really cool. I kind of want to talk a little bit more about this because I want to understand how you did the two stores. So did you create two separate Shopify accounts, one for Norway and one for Germany?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, we tried making it under one store because I mean, for if you double the stores, you double the amount of subscriptions and apps, right? But it's really hard to connect two domains. It has to be like subdomains, and the names didn't really translate,
Right.
unfortunately.
So it's two different brand names also.
Yeah.
Right. And how can you guys pronounce them for the listeners? Because I butchered one of them and I think it's much better if you guys just say them.
Yeah, so it's
It's Koster Skjorta.
Okay.
Letztes Hemd in Germany.
Letztes Hemd. Okay.
You got
I
it,
probably
yeah.
butchered that too.
But yeah, it was
No, so it's kind of a wordplay, kind of a saying. So in Norway, Koster Skjorta means it costs the shirt, and that's like a saying you say when something expensive. So you say, "Oh, it costs the shirt," but then it's actually a shirt. It's a wordplay on shirts, and in Germany, it's the same, kind of the same wordplay.
yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So do you guys have two different TikTok accounts, one in German and one in Norwegian?
Yes.
Okay.
And, yeah, because I mean, if we were to post a German TikTok on the Norwegian account, it would
Wouldn't make
only
sense.
get shown to Norwegian people, right?
Sure.
Because we are based in Norway, so it's quite an intricate VPN scheme to try to make TikTok
Right.
believe we are in Germany.
Yeah, that's
Right.
another case targeting the German customers. I have to have two different phones. One that is completely wiped for any information, and connect that one to a VPN, from the hotspot from my other phone, which is connected to a German VPN.
Yeah.
And then TikTok believes that the account is German.
Right. Wow. That's pretty well thought out. So essentially you guys are running this like two totally separate businesses, but are you repurposing all the same designs and then just having them translated into the other language?
Basically,
Yeah.
there are some others, but yeah, I mean, you could take this to all the different languages. I mean, there's no limit.
Yeah.
So good.
Man, that is so cool. So I want to know, I actually want to like go back a little bit in time and want to know at what point did you decide to sell apparel? Like, were you posting anything in advance? Like, were you posting funny t-shirts to your TikTok and then you were seeing a lot of people react and say, where did I get that? Or were you just very active on TikTok and you were seeing other people post this stuff and be like, you know what? Like, I could do this too. And then you decide to start your own brand. How did that all play out?
Yeah, the latter. Yeah, we saw the people posting, and I thought, well, why not try this? We haven't. I mean, we just finished high school when we started this, so
Right.
we didn't really have time to start any business, really. Yeah.
I think that's something worth mentioning too. You guys are what, like 19?
Yeah,
Yeah,
19.
we're 19.
19 years old. So you guys started these brands, I should say, when you were 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were still in high school at the time.
We just finished high school.
Like our gap year. Yeah.
Okay, so you had just finished high school and then you started the business.
Yeah, that's right.
Businesses.
It's like a cliche story. It's pretty weird to say it myself. Yeah.
And you quit your jobs at what point?
Well, we were working both at an elementary school, like a substitute teacher assistant, and
Cool.
and then we were like in our free time we were working till like 5 p.m. and then we went home and kept working on the business till we went to sleep, and then after a while the sales, at least in Q4 in December, this sales started going crazy. And then at some point we were making more in a day than we did at the job in a week or 2 weeks. So
Amazing.
we just quit our jobs and focused all our energy into that.
That is so cool. So how long did it take before you started seeing success? So from the time you started the business to starting to post TikToks about your products, how long did it take before, and maybe you guys can just kind of share the story about the first time you went viral on TikTok, because I'm guessing that's when things really took off for you. Is that correct?
And I think that's really the key with TikTok. It doesn't really matter how many followers or how much you have spent posting TikToks. I mean, if TikTok recognizes you have a good TikTok, it just explodes, right? I think for me in the start, I mean, I set all of the store, all the logistics with Gelato, but then it took 2 weeks, and then I got my first really viral video, and I think it was like $2,000 in one day, just suddenly. And that's the potential with TikTok.
Right.
Yeah. For the German store as well, that was also since the German store started in, I think I bought the Shopify domain on the 1st of October, 2022, and then just spent the month kind of setting up the store and connecting with Gelato and making t-shirt designs, posting a little bit. And then in the end of October sometime, I got a sale, and then nothing more. And then suddenly in November, I started getting a lot of viral videos, and the more views, the more sales you get. So easy,
Right.
It's so easy. So then it started blowing up, and already in December we quit our job. So it's kind of really explosive.
But this might sound off-putting for a lot of people, right? It's like instant success, but especially for young people who really know the algorithm, because I mean, if you spend 4 hours on TikTok each day, you know what you see all the time. So you can just copy the same formats, use your products in those videos, and then suddenly, I mean, you can quit your job. No, that's a true way of saying it, but yeah.
I want to add a little bit here because I'd love to dive deeper into the strategy a little bit on TikTok, because I think that's what's going to bring a lot of value to the people listening to this, because
Placeit.net is the internet's largest collection of realistic mock-ups, design templates, and so much more. In fact, it's our most used tool as print-on-demand and apparel sellers, and we've been using it almost daily for over 8 years. With the power of Placeit, you can put your designs on products ranging from t-shirts, mugs, hats, bags, posters, and more. Then simply pick the setting and model and generate a high quality, realistic photo mock-up that you can use on your website, social media, in your marketing, or wherever you choose. Not only that, Placeit has an incredible design studio to create your next best-selling design. Start with one of the thousands of templates or create your design from scratch in a matter of minutes. Placeit really is like magic with a do-it-for-you type offering, and we believe this is a must-have tool for every print-on-demand or apparel seller. Go to sixfigurefounder.com/Placeit to get 10% off your first month or 10% off an annual subscription. No discount code is required, but you must use our link to get your 10% off. That's the number 6figurefounder.com/Placeit, or use the link below in the show notes or in the description on YouTube. Thank you so much, Placeit, for sponsoring this episode.
I would say that from me and Adrian's perspective, like we haven't seen a lot of t-shirt brands that have really like blown up on TikTok specifically. You know, we see them have success on Instagram, Facebook, and these kind of platforms, but a lot of people, I think in the US, they might be a little scared of TikTok, or like they don't know what kind of content to put out. But like, I think what's really cool. So I'm looking at your TikTok page on my computer right now, and I can't read it all because it's in a different language. But what I think is cool, and what I've seen from other brands that are not having success necessarily, is like they're trying to do very like generic videos of their products, like a mock-up and maybe like some cool, effects. But like you guys are actually doing like you're including your products, but you're doing creative stuff. Like I see a lot of your TikToks, you're carrying the package or the t-shirt, throwing it, and then it's like opening the t-shirt, right? And like you've got some text on there that I'm sure is like a joke or something, to kind of get people engaged in it. And like you're doing some pretty creative stuff, but it kind of looks like you have kind of a format or a template that seems to be working for you. So like, would you walk us through like what goes into making a piece of content for TikTok, and how do you come up with the idea?
Of course. Yeah. Well, the main thing about TikTok is that it's such a like dopamine heavy app. People just scroll if it's something that doesn't stimulate them. So it has to be like eye catching, or something has to happen. And we have found like kind of a format, a formula, let's say, by doing a lot of trial and error and looking at what works and what doesn't. And there are like 3 main parts to it, which is the beginning, where you have to really kind of have something that snaps the viewer out of their like mindless scrolling. grabs their attention. So usually this can be by having a text or something that kind of the package, and then they want to see maybe what's in the package and have something kind of to bring them along through the video. And then the next part, you can talk about it.
Yeah. So I mean, just use an example. In one of the videos you see, my mom is like the caption is saying, "My mom gave me my school uniform." And then I take my package. And then the viewer will say, "Oh, well, what's the uniform?" And then I reveal it, and it says like, "Lower the teacher salaries." It's like a funny thing
So that's like funny, controversial, kind of ironic. Just like,
and the last part is what really makes the TikTok go viral, because the lower teacher salaries. Oh, a school kid will want to share this video. Imagine if we were wearing this to school, right?
Right.
And that's really the key to make it shareable, right? Like make it fit in with the TikTok look, right? Like not make it too professional, and make it shareable.
Just create some engagement. And that's kind of the main thing. And usually about what you said about like these generic kind of videos, they're not really any. There's no stimulation. So usually I would say the best tip actually for almost any brand, not just a t-shirt brand or whatever you're selling, is put some humor into it. If you put some humor into it, you can create engagement with almost anything.
Yeah.
Right. They're dropping gold, Adrian.
Yeah, these are really good tips. People are gonna love hearing this stuff, and it's nice hearing people like you guys who are having so much success on TikTok with a clothing brand saying this stuff, because I completely agree with you guys. Like that's what I see too, and that's what I see a lot of the successful clothing brands on TikTok doing as well. But yeah, you guys have kind of nailed it. So one thing that's kind of interesting is one concern that a lot of people have with TikTok is like, oh, I'm not comfortable showing myself on camera. I'm not comfortable talking or showing my face. But you guys have never shown your face on camera.
So cool.
You guys are pulling this off without being in front of the camera. Like it shows your hands. It shows, it shows packages and stuff like that. What went into that? Is that just part of the formula, or were you guys like, we don't really want to be on camera, or what? How did that play out?
Well, in the beginning, we didn't really want to be on camera, so that's kind of we just had to improvise, and also like inspiration from other creators or other t-shirt brands that were doing kind of the same thing, but in different markets, and seeing what they were doing and what worked. And then it's always just a trial and error thing. Do you just have to try? And sometimes the video gets only 100 views, and then sometimes it gets 300,000. And then you see what works and what doesn't. And after a while, it just becomes kind of a natural kind of sense that you get while you're filming.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. That's the idea.
Dude, I just love. I have to say, like, I just love how, you guys are young and you just like, you're not afraid, and it's so simple, right? It's just like, we saw an opportunity. We knew TikTok was the thing, the hot thing. We started testing different things, just putting things out there, see what works. And like, boom, something happens. So it's like, but you guys, it seems like you guys aren't overthinking any one thing. You're not like stressing out over any one thing. You're just like, let's just go. Let's just try things. Let's just do things, like see what happens.
Yeah, that's really the main thing. Kind of, we weren't even that serious. It started more like a joke, like, why not just try it? And you don't have to do everything with perfection from the beginning. And that's the thing. As long as you just do something, it's all gonna. And as long as you're in the direction, it's all gonna form and become great in the end. That's just the thing. You cannot like obsess over the tiny itty bitty things. Right from the beginning.
And what's even better, TikTok really rewards imperfection in their videos. I mean, if you post a video with a mistake, people will comment on the video. You spelled this word wrong. You had this in your video.
Why do you have a hole in your sock?
Yeah, right.
And that makes it go more viral, right?
Yeah, exactly.
TikTok doesn't separate between positive and negative comments, right? Every comment is super positive. So if you get like an argument in your comments, that's just the best thing that can happen to you, right? Ever. Because then your video just gets shown to
and after a while, we also do things like this purposely, like place like some funny objects in the frame, like kind of in the frame, so maybe someone notices it and comments, and then more people view the video again. But and yeah, so that's kind of a funny thing with TikTok, that it's really rewarding. But it's also the thing about it, it's an amateur app. Like anybody can post, and anybody is posting, so you don't have to have a $500 camera. You can just do it with your phone like this, have it a little bit shaky and not the best quality, and it could still go super viral.
Man, that is so good. I'm loving this. This is such good stuff. So
much wisdom.
You guys, like people can learn so much from you guys. I just feel like you have so much to teach. And we're going to continue unwrapping this stuff, but I'm just curious. So you guys knowing that TikTok, sometimes it works in your favor. Well, most of the time it works in your favor to be a little controversial, or to do things like spell words wrong. I've seen so many TikTokers doing that, and everyone comments like, "Oh, you spelled this word wrong," right? Just to stimulate engagement and to get the algorithm thinking a lot of people are liking it and feeding it out to more people. So do you guys do that? Like, do you guys intentionally try to be controversial, or do you guys intentionally like make some spelling errors to try to stimulate engagement? And does it work on the videos that you've tested doing that in?
Yeah, well, it's a part of the formula. For us, luckily, kind of the controversial or stimulation part is the t-shirt, because they're like controversial and funny t-shirts. But usually we also add onto that to create even more traction, to have these small spelling mistakes. At least in Germany, people are very picky on the spelling and on the grammar. So that's also a great thing to do. But you also we won't get into that, but it's like really controversial thing that young people are really triggered by, and also like political things are also really good things to trigger in the comment section, because when an argument starts and more people start adding on, that's really, I mean, your videos may not get that many likes, right, but the algorithm thinks that everybody's commenting on it, so it must be good, right? And then it gets pushed, blown up.
That's really interesting. That's good to know. Good for people to know kind of how the algorithm works and whatnot, because I would say that the TikTok is like the best, most sophisticated algorithm in my opinion. I feel like it's just so good at serving you content that you want to see based on your watch history. Like it's like you watch like 2 videos on one topic, and all of a sudden you're just getting pounded with content in this topic. And that's where I'm sure it really comes in handy for you guys. It's, you know, someone sees a funny video, they comment on it from your page, and then a lot of other people are just, you know, they're just being shown other videos from your page.
And actually one thing, I listened to your last podcast about Instagram, where you said an Instagram follower is worth 10 times more than a TikTok follower. Well, I would say in our experience, it's 100 times easier to get TikTok followers than Instagram followers. I mean the reach. I mean, sure, each person you reach may not want to buy, but the amount of people you reach is just astronomically larger. That's the main point.
That's totally. It's a fair point, and it's really interesting because one thing that's awesome about TikTok is that, which is different than Instagram, based on the algorithm, is that people are more on kind of even footing on TikTok. It's like they don't care if you have 100,000 followers. If your content sucks, they're not going to push it out to people. Whereas if you have 100 followers, but you're just putting out awesome content that's really resonating and people are watching it all the way through, and a lot of people are watching it, then we'll push it out. And so there's kind of like more of let me know if you agree with me, but it's easier to go viral because they don't care about your following. All they care about really is watch time. Would you agree with that?
100%. My first video ever that I posted on TikTok got like 8,000 views, and I didn't have 1 follower.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
so go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Just as a t-shirt brand on TikTok, try not to act as a t-shirt brand. Try to act as just a funny creator that has funny t-shirts on them. If people like your t-shirts, they will go to your profile. They will see, oh, it's a link in bio. Buy the t-shirts here. I'll buy them.
Or they will ask in the comment section, and you just write the link in bio.
Right.
Don't try to sell on TikTok. That's
such good advice.
That's what I was going to ask you. just more of a little bit of a technical question because I can't read obviously I can't read it. Yeah, it's not English. How are you getting people to what's the call to action to get them to buy the shirt? So like in the TikTok video, are you saying anything like buy at the link in our bio or anything like that? Or are you just replying to comments, or they're just going over to your profile?
Well, I usually never have any link in bio stuff written in the video or in the caption, but kind of like I have a profile picture and our logo is the T-shirt, and the brand name kind of speaks for itself. And after a while, also people start like recognizing you if they've seen an old video, they know it. Okay, this is kind of a T-shirt brand, but usually just responding in the comments. And after a while, once you've built kind of a following base, other people will respond for you in the comments. So when somebody asks where's the shirt from, somebody else will say it's in the bio, dumbass.
Yeah.
And, so you don't have to do it yourself, you know?
Oh, that's so great. Cause like, I was curious if you guys were like, putting a link in the caption or, saying like, go buy this. Do you think it actually hurts you in the algorithm to say like, buy at the link in our bio or something like that?
I have the feeling that the algorithm does not like kind of if you have link in bio in the caption or in the video. In my experience, that usually doesn't work. In my experience, the best thing is kind of to act like just another person, that like just like the viewer, to have like LMAO something in the caption or in the video, like more the casual style, not do it way too serious. And that's often the biggest problem I think with a lot of other brands, is that they take it all too seriously and have this $8,000 camera with all the pro stuff, and just here is the T-shirt and then nothing stimulation and no kind of, they're not even resonating to the viewers. Yeah, and that's the biggest mistake, I think.
Yeah, that's great advice. And TikTok almost seems like the anti-ad platform. Like even the ads don't look like ads. The ones that are, a lot of the ones that are successful, they look like normal content, user-generated content that people are just posting. And it's almost like tricking them. They're like, I didn't even know this was an ad.
100%.
And it just catches me. And it's really cool. And it's refreshing in my opinion, because wouldn't you guys agree Instagram is so curated? It's very curated. Like they care a lot about the aesthetic and about, the brand and whatnot. And it can take a lot more time to create that kind of curated content. You're editing your images, you're throwing, different, you're tweaking things on them. You're making sure it's on brand. Whereas TikTok, it's so raw. Like you guys are just pulling out your cameras, filming this raw content, and it has a chance, maybe even a better chance of going viral than posting like a well-curated reel on Instagram.
It does.
100%.
It does, yeah.
100%. And that's also something worth mentioning with TikTok is if you have this specific niche, it's so much easier to kind of expand your niche or kind of bring new people into the niche instead of just focusing on this specific type and trying to kind of milk out what you have in this place, because you have such a great reach with TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to reach new people. I think that's the main line.
Yeah. I'm curious to know your thoughts, because this is something that people are always asking about. What are your thoughts on hashtags? Like hashtags, and let's talk about TikTok specifically, because you guys are the TikTok pros. What are your thoughts about hashtags in TikTok? If you do you use them? How would you use them, if so?
Well, I think we both have like our brand hashtag in every video. That's the first hashtag always. So it's kind of the caption and then hashtag Koster Skjorta or hashtag Letztes. It varies. I think it depends a lot on the algorithm. When there's an update, I think it's usually better to have, or at least now in the last couple of weeks, I've benefited more from only having my brand hashtag and then hashtag something related to the content of the video. If it's kind of lower teacher salaries, I would add hashtag teacher or school. But earlier on, I would use maybe 5 to 10 hashtags that are all specific to the kind of niche, like memes, hashtag t-shirt, hashtag funny, that kind of stuff, hashtag IRS.
Mhm. And I think actually more so than creating more engagement with the hashtags, we used TikTok a lot as a search engine. So if you include like a hashtag Norwegian T-shirt, for example, if people search Norwegian T-shirt, if you make a hashtag Norwegian T-shirt, it will come up further up in the TikTok search.
Makes
So
sense.
that I think is the main advantage by using a long caption or including what your product is in the hashtags.
Right. That's
My
really
SEO.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good insight. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, an example of this would probably also be like if you have hashtag funny, hashtag t-shirt, hashtag memes or something like this, and somebody this also promotes the algorithm, or if the algorithm really promotes that if somebody searches them for something funny or a gift idea or something, and they've earlier liked a lot of memes, it would automatically be on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. What are your thoughts on the caption? Like, how do you guys, are you guys just mainly focused on the video and capturing people's attention that way? Or is there some strategy to the caption? Like, do you ask questions? How do you get people to engage, or how do you use the captions?
Actually, as an example for this, for the teacher lowered teacher salaries T-shirt, I sent and wrote like, tag the person you would wear this to school with. I mean, just to try if that worked, and it actually worked quite well. I mean, then people will, oh, maybe this person will wear it to school with me, and then we'll tag the friend, and then the friend will comment, oh, that was so cool. Imagine if this person wore it, and then they will comment. I mean, it things like this where you incentivize engagement. That's really powerful, I think.
I think it's really powerful, but mainly it is the video.
Yeah.
Usually the caption is, I think you should always keep it casual and not have it too kind of corporate, something long, just something quick and simple, and maybe like tag someone who would wear this, or which of your friend is the stupidest to wear this t-shirt, you know, kind of like just something casual that could either promote engagement or to just like exaggerate the casualness of your video, or like make it seem really authentic.
And be careful not to show that you want to make your video go more viral. I mean, you don't like, back to the call to action point. You don't want to make a call to action. You don't want to make it obvious that you make money from this. That's what people don't want to see your content, because they don't want to give you free engagement or free sales, right? So you have to really keep it user friendly.
That's really interesting, man. It's just such a different beast than something like an Instagram. It's just such different strategy. But I'm also curious to know, kind of talking more about the strategy here. What are your thoughts on the trending audio or music selection? Are you always looking for the trendy music? What's really trendy right now? And then what are your thoughts on text overlay on the actual video?
For the audio part, definitely. The trendy sounds is, I think it's almost the only sounds that we use, kind of what sounds we found on our For You page. Those are the sounds that we use. And for the text part, I think it's almost, for us, it's necessary. It's a necessity to kind of have this in the beginning, so that to engage the customer or the viewer to keep watching. So like I have this this t-shirt where it says, "I have disappointed my family," and it's this cute little drawing, and I will just have in the beginning have a text where it says like, "My dad saw my notes, my graduation notes, or what is it called,
grades,
like my grades, my school grades, and now he gave me this t-shirt," and then it's kind of like 6-7 seconds of me like getting the package and stuff to further promote the algorithm, and then the final reveal. So the text, I think for us it's a necessity, but sometimes you can also just kind of just film the t-shirt or the process.
But for the music, be careful not to fall into the corporate music trap with this is the trending sound right now, and then it was trending 4 weeks ago. I think because I've seen that a lot on TikTok, like make it on TikTok accounts while you're not going viral. They will post like CapCut templates, but please just don't use. I mean, the CapCut templates are always used by I don't want to like critique anyone, but the CapCut templates are always used by the not so young people trying to expand their business on TikTok. I mean, on Instagram it may work well, I don't know, but on TikTok it gives off the impression that you really don't know what goes viral on TikTok, so you have to use the CapCut templates to try to do that yourself. I mean, I'm sorry if that's harsh to anyone.
No, that's
the reality.
a really interesting perspective. Like we want you guys to give your perspectives. You guys are really good at this, and you've had a lot of success. And you know there are different strategies that different people use. Whatever is working for you, we want to hear it. So are you saying on TikTok avoid CapCut templates altogether, or only use the really new ones before they've been kind of oversaturated and overused?
Yeah,
the last one, and of course, I mean, it never hurts to post an extra TikTok.
Right.
So I mean, if you want to
Better to post a CapCut than not post a CapCut.
yeah.
Not post anything.
to some extent.
Yeah, post your normal videos as well, and then put in some CapCuts as well. That's the strategy.
Cool. One more thing about strategy that I want to ask you guys, because I think you guys are really good at this, is the kind of clip to length ratio. It seems like you chop it up really nicely, and it's that we know that psychologically that kind of keeps people's attention longer than if it's just one cut, the whole thing filmed. So what's kind of your strategy around that?
Well, usually it's kind of based on the audio, actually. A lot of times it's based on the audio. If the audio is really short, like only 3 seconds before kind of the beat drops, or before like the top of the audio, like where the most stimulation is happening, then the video will be shorter. But usually I would not recommend to have like more than 8 seconds before the kind of reveal, before the engagement part. I would say that's kind of a hard limit, depending on your niche. I don't know, but for us, usually, because people fall off so easily on TikTok, you should probably keep it to like 6-7 seconds and then kind of have the reveal. That's kind of what we've been doing and what works best for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Awesome. That's really interesting to know. I actually want to kind of step back a little bit more and talk about the beginning for a second again, because I want people to kind of feel like your experience at the beginning, what it was like for you guys. So correct me if I'm wrong, you set up your Shopify store, and 2 weeks later, you had a video go viral and you started just cha-ching, 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 like your phone's ringing off the hook. Is that how it went? Like, well, give us a play-by-play of from the time you set up your store, the first time you went viral, what happened, and how long did that last? I want people to envision themselves like in your shoes here.
Yeah, so it started when I was finished in school, and I was tired of doing nothing, and I just set up a shop. I saw the video, and then I had my summer break, so I really just left it off as a funny idea, and then I got home and I started working more on this, and that's the two week mark when I got home from the summer break, when I really started posting TikToks. And then the 2 weeks went by, the viral video came, and I remember I had like a youth debit card, which had like a limit on $500 per day usage. so like 1 a.m. I hit my phone started ringing, and my bank called me, say you reached your limit. So I went home upstairs to my mom, and I said, "Mom, I need to borrow your credit card. It's coming, and I have to pay for the orders." So I used her credit card. I didn't reach her limit, luckily, and then paid her back. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's an awesome story. How many videos did it take you before you went viral? Like, how many videos did you post before you went viral?
I want to say like 30, and I post maybe 2 a day. Yeah.
Okay, so you're posting 2 a day, and then kind of one just hit after the 2 week mark. Was it immediate? Like one of the ones you posted right away? Was it an older one that all of a sudden got traction? How did that look?
No, on TikTok it really goes fast. It's very rarely that old videos go viral again. But I mean, I got, because I use TikTok myself, I got the hunch that this design because it was a design that says I'm allergic to gluten. with like a funny thing on. And I thought this maybe people could tag each other in this one. That would be cool. And then yeah, it just went overnight, really.
Wow.
That's amazing. So all of a sudden you get all these sales coming in for this shirt, and then kind of what happened after that? Was your goal like, we're just going to keep pumping out essentially as much content as we can and continue to try to go viral on these trendy shirts, on these funny shirts? Was that kind of the goal? Just keep putting new shirts out there and creating content around them?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's right.
That's so interesting. And it kind of leads me to another question, because you guys have hilarious designs, and some are controversial, a lot are really funny, like kind of conversation starters. So I could see why on TikTok these would do well, because TikTok loves when people are commenting on videos. They think they're liking and engaging with it. How do you guys get your ideas? Like, how do you get your design ideas?
Well, a combination of inspiration and kind of creativity, just again, to the point of just trying, just start by trying. And of course our main inspiration were these guys that were doing it in the US. So kind of based off of that, and then you kind of start getting a hunch on what would fit on a t-shirt and what would be funny, and then you speak to family members and they have, I have this idea, this could be funny, and then you're like, maybe, and then you go into we started with Photo P, which like is a free version of Photoshop online, but it takes so much of the CPU, so eventually we had to get the the Photoshop, and then you just go into Photoshop and try creating something, and in the end maybe it's a new bestseller design.
And another thing which is really unique with TikTok and maybe Instagram, when we create a really viral video, people will comment, make t-shirt with this design and I'll buy it straight away. I mean, they're creating the demand for you. You just have to answer.
Yes.
And you can even, with the comment, you can make a reply to that comment with your video, with your new design, which creates so much social proof, right? Because people ask for it and now you give it. That means the new viewers see, he has a lot of customers. They're even asking him to create this design.
That's brilliant.
That's a huge advantage with TikTok.
Brilliant. So would you say that TikTok is your primary research tool for designs?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean,
go ahead.
We really, we're heavy users of TikTok ourselves. So we try our best to translate the current trends for young people into the t-shirts.
Nice.
And usually also when something big is happening in the world, like I don't know,
like recently a Norwegian politician got caught stealing a pair of sunglasses from a store.
Kind of a scandal.
And then you can make a t-shirt exactly when that happens, about that happening, and that creates so much more engagement because that's what's hot right now and people want to share that with their friends.
So good.
Yeah, so you have to be quick. You always have to be kind of updated on what's going on in the world, and especially if you're like in the international market, kind of I don't know what was the bank, Silicon Valley Bank, when there was a scandal there. We saw a lot of people doing t-shirts and they were going crazy viral and getting a lot of sales.
It was like a Silicon Valley Bank summer management risk intern.
Risk assessment manager. But the thing is, you have to be quick. You have to be within a day or two. If not, it's old news.
Like the sounds, you have to really hit the trend as it's hot.
Right. Great. So that politician, was that the This Is Pitbull shirt with the guy? No, that's not him. Okay. I was wondering who that was. I was like, it looked like Pitbull at the beginning, and I'm like, wait a sec, his face is totally different.
It's a Norwegian politician, yeah, but it's a different one. It's not that guy who stole the glasses. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys are going on TikTok kind of every day, and you're just going through your For You page looking for really new trends, like new scandals or things that are being talked about right now, and then you guys must be really quick to turn these around, like to turn these into designs.
Yeah, I mean, our designs aren't very aesthetically pleasing. It's often just a picture and a text, and that also fits in well with the TikTok not be corporate idea.
It's kind of a part of the shitty brand, kind of just to have like a funny design that's not the best kind of executed, but
Well,
that's kind of the point of it.
it also speaks to like the power of print on demand, because you can get that design up right away. You can start selling it within minutes, you know,
Exactly.
and that's a huge advantage as opposed to like having to print the shirts yourself or have them screen printed or something like that. So it's, you know, print on demand. I think Adrian, I'd love to move into the print on demand side a little bit if we
Yeah,
could.
that's a good transition. Let's kind of
Nice
shift gears and
segue, yeah.
talk about that. So I actually met you guys at the Gelato Accelerator Summit, and Kerry, it was so cool. Like I looked around the room, and like the average age, most people were maybe in their 30s, their 40s, and then I see like these two young guys. I was like, what the heck? Who are these guys? And then they go up and they proceed to just do the coolest like live demo presentation on TikTok to the entire group. They literally filmed a TikTok in front of everyone. It was so cool. And I overheard people saying that that was one of their favorite presentations, if not their favorite presentation, because you guys just were like, this is how we do it. And literally just created a TikTok by hooking up your camera to the big projector screen and showing people what you were recording and whatnot. But so I know you guys are using Gelato, and I want to know kind of how you decided to use them. First of all, like what was like, oh, like let's go with Gelato.
Because there's hundreds of print on
So
demand
many to choose
providers.
from. Yeah.
Right. Actually, it started when I was just doing some research, and the shipping cost to Norway is so high because it's, I mean, who knows where Norway is, right? It's so like somewhere there. So it's so expensive to ship always with other print-on-demand carriers. But the Gelato had the cheapest price, so that's why we went along with it. It was only after a while that we found out it's actually a Norwegian company. And fun fact, one of the founders is actually, he's the dad of one of my old classmates.
No
So that's just a
way.
weird coincidence. But I mean, we haven't had the thought of even switching since and they even just reduced their pricing just recently.
Yeah, and when I started with the German store, he had already kind of established a good partnership with Gelato. Kind of told me about the good customer service and whatnot. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer, and we already had. It's easier to have like multiple stores on the same Gelato account. So that's just what we did.
And I mean, not to be biased, but I think our model really speaks to the advantage of Gelato's API network, because we have both. I mean, we have customers where people speak Norwegian and where people speak German. And for us, it doesn't have any implication, because if an order is placed in Norway, it will get produced in Sweden, which is bordering Norway. And if it's in Germany or Austria, it will get produced in Germany and Austria. We don't have to route any orders anywhere. Gelato, I mean, we're a bit biased, but still, it's really.
No, but I mean, if you guys decide to open up another store pretty much anywhere in the world, Gelato's going to be able to print those locally, you know, where your customers are, no matter where that, you know, where you decide to start selling. And then you guys also get the benefit of lower shipping costs, because if you had to ship everything from Norway or ship everything from the US or ship everything from wherever to all over the world, like it's going to cost tons of money. So that's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought maybe it was because you guys are in Oslo and Gelato is based out of Oslo that it just made sense. But it's hilarious that you didn't even know they were in your own city.
No,
It's a total coincidence.
It's such a frequent question that we get asked by people, and a lot of our listeners, especially they're really new or they're thinking about starting, and they're always, one of the most common questions we ask is, which print-on-demand provider should I go with? And you know, people find it very valuable to hear about different experiences that sellers are having, especially high volume sellers like you guys. Because you want the print-on-demand company to be scalable with you. You want them to be able to meet your volume and not have huge lag times because you're selling so much, something like that. So how has your experience been with Gelato, and what would you say some of their strengths are?
Well, I would say the main strength would be the customer service, at least, and kind of for us, it has been amazing from the beginning that we kind of always been seen, even though even though how small we were, and we're still growing, and just the way we've always had like this kind of communication with them, and whenever there's a problem, we can contact them and it'll get fixed right away.
And I've never seen customer support respond so fast, so consistently. I mean, it's the average is like 5 hours, I think. If an order isn't, it's pretty time sensitive, right? When a customer asks you, "Hey, where's my order?" Then I have to contact Gelato, ask them if that took like 2 business days. My customer would knock on my door and say, "Hey, where is it?" So it's really key that the Gelato does it so fast.
Yeah,
Because,
we'd be banned from PayPal if it took such a long time.
yeah.
Wow.
That's really interesting to hear. Yeah, I know that they have one of the highest ratings on Trustpilot, and a lot of people talk about their customer service. That's one of many things that people love about them. In terms of international selling, like you guys are selling in Germany and Norway, like what's been your experience with international sales using Gelato?
I mean, do you mean logistic wise? Like,
Yeah, like you mentioned that the items are produced very close to where they're ordered. So has that been a pretty smooth experience?
Yeah, well, in Germany, it's been a dream because they have multiple print facilities in Germany. So kind of wherever you are, it will be the closest thing. And I've had customers in some rare occasions, but still some really happy customers that receive their products within like 12 hours or 24 hours. And that's just amazing, and it helps so much. Kind of people commenting this on my TikTok page whenever somebody's having doubts, like, is this real, guys? Is this scam? And then somebody comments like, no, I got mine after 1 day or 2 days, and that just really helps. And I don't know if that would happen with any other print-on-demand providers.
Yeah, and Adrian, I was really curious why you would even ask that question, because in my head that's so obvious that the logistics part would be like completely off your shoulders. But I'm sure that's not the same case for all the printing providers. But for us, I mean, if we got a million orders to Zimbabwe, I mean, we wouldn't even know if nobody told us, because they just handle everything. It's completely.
It all goes automatically behind your back.
We may be bragging a bit too much, but we don't get paid by Gelato to say this.
Right. Well, it's interesting to hear your perspective as high volume and international sellers. A lot of our sellers are American. We do have a lot all over the world that listen, but a lot of them, maybe they use a print-on-demand company where everything is fulfilled out of the US, no matter where it's ordered from. So it's a totally different experience if someone purchases something in Australia, but it's fulfilled in the US. You've got to worry about customs, taxes, long shipping times, high shipping costs. So I think that that's really one of the areas that Gelato shines. And that's why I wanted to hear your perspective, because, I
was going to say, back in my day, the old guys, the old guys here, when we started in print on demand, back in the 2016s, when we started in print on demand, there was only a few print on demand companies, and they were pretty much all US based. And, like when I first started selling in print on demand, I was selling in the US, and then I started getting more orders in Europe and Australia, and it would cost like $20 to ship it, $20 US. And then there would be all those issues like customs issues, and the order would get stuck at the local post office, like somewhere in Europe or in Australia. And the customer would have to go to the post office and pay money to get the package, and like it was a nightmare. So we didn't have like an awesome network like Gelato. So it is a game changer.
Yeah, it's really unique. Yeah,
we were kind of spoiled on this because we had like this smooth experience all the way from the beginning. So yeah, we're really, really happy.
Yep.
Cool. Good to hear that. And I want to ask you a question about TikTok, and I think I know the answer to this, but I don't want to make any assumptions. So how important do you think that TikTok and social media have been in achieving sales and success for your brand? Like, would you say TikTok has been a total game changer? This is easily our primary channel. 99% of our sales come from it. Because one thing that we tell people is, generally we recommend people start with social media to get their brand name out there, to get their reach, to expand their reach, and to convert those visitors, those followers into sales. So how important would you say that TikTok and social media has been in your sales journey?
We wouldn't have been here if it weren't for TikTok and Instagram. That's very safe to say. I've seen at least TikTok, I think for us is the most essential, but I've also had some competitors doing great on Instagram. So I think those two are the most important channels, I think, for almost any brand, at least when starting up to have.
And short, I think the key is really short form video content.
Yeah, not taking it too serious.
Yeah.
So that's Reels, awesome. You would say TikTok and Reels essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been repurposing to Reels and to YouTube Shorts, but you can really see the difference in reach between the apps, even though it's the exact same video. I mean, TikTok is just 100 times X the amount.
Yeah, it's awesome. Crazy the reach you can get literally overnight with TikTok. Yeah. And you guys have a formula that looks like you just keep doing it again and again and again. Like you're not one-hit wonders. You guys aren't one-hit wonders. You didn't have one video go viral and make a bunch of sales. Like you have a strategy that keeps bringing in, I guess, waves of sales. That's what it seems like, based on your content that goes viral and whatnot. Would you say that?
Definitely. I think, the thing, like views are sales. So if it's a video below, at least in Germany, it's a bigger market. So if it's a video below 10,000 views, it's a bad video. And the main thing is to have like at least one video per week with 100K plus and of views, and then we also get decent amount of sales.
Yeah, and it's definitely possible. I mean,
it's really doable. I've been kind of lazy even on the TikTok front, kind of not posting as much as I should, but it's 100% doable.
And after a while, it's also like friend referral. I mean, they see the funny T-shirt in the street. People ask, "Where's that from?" I mean, it may be a bit easier for us to have like the really eye-catching designs because people will actually come up to you and ask, "Hey, where'd you get that from?"
Right.
But that's also a key. Just create a good product, maybe a bit controversial, and then people will ask where they got them from.
Yeah, but it's so easy to kind of build a brand if you stay consistent and kind of keep doing your thing. After a while, when people have seen it multiple times, because thousands of people are going to see it with a TikTok reach, so it's not hard for someone to see it multiple times and then know that this is you, this is your brand, kind of, and after a while, you kind of established something that's totally a full-on brand.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be easy, but it's definitely very feasible for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, you guys have so much knowledge on this topic. I can't even believe how much you know about it. And you guys have already dropped so much gold. Like, I know listeners are going to be loving this, but I know that during the presentation for Gelato, you guys just like offered so much value in that presentation. You gave so many kind of quick win tips. And so I wanted to kind of shift gears here and kind of double down on the game, the strategy, because you guys are clearly, you're killing it. You're making it work. So I wanted you guys, if there was a couple tips that you guys have that you would share to people that are either brand new, they've never created TikTok before, or they've created TikToks and just not seen a lot of success. Because there's a lot of those people that are like, oh, I'm stuck around 200 views. Like every video freezes at 200 views. Can you guys share kind of a couple tips that you would give to these individuals on kind of how to create viral TikToks?
Yeah, I mean, it really sums up what we've been saying. I mean, number one, have a good hook, catch the eye. Number two, don't be corporate. Just don't be corporate. Don't try to sell. Don't try to make any call to action. Make it shareable.
And then also to have this kind of engaging, keep in mind that people are like, they're searching for the dopamine. They want to be stimulated. So a really great tip for your video is to have a lot of cuts, kind of not have this long video and then suddenly show the product, but kind of, oh, here's this, and then, oh, there's it, and cuts to you walking with it, and then it cuts to you putting it down, and then kind of have this. It generates this small kind of stimulation. And for the tips for the viewers that are kind of stuck in maybe not
See any success?
Not having the success they want. It could be to kind of see what others are doing and trying to kind of apply it to your own formula as much as you can, and kind of see the tiny details, because it is a lot of tiny details that matter. And then just switching things up and seeing what works and what doesn't. It's as we already said, it's a matter of trial and error. So you kind of have to just see what works and what doesn't, and that's by trying new stuff.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is, instead of being a cool t-shirt brand, just be a funny casual person that's wearing a cool t-shirt. I mean, if you do that consistently, people will ask, where'd you get that t-shirt from, instead of being sold to, because people hate that.
Right. And that's really where TikTok shines. Like I said, it's like the anti-ad platform. It's like works against you if you make it look like an ad. So it's really good hearing your perspective on that. Kind of wrapping things up here, because I know you guys are busy. I know you guys are heading off to like Germany for a while. You guys are doing a lot of traveling. So we appreciate you guys making time to do this.
Of course.
Kind of wrapping things up. So if someone was brand new and they were just starting an online clothing brand, and they just got their Shopify store set up, they just got their print on demand set up, what kind of first steps would you recommend? Like, what advice would you give to new clothing brand owners?
Well, it's easy to say, but really just do anything. Because as long as you
take action,
it's gonna form its way, and things are the pieces are gonna fall in place. So just doing anything really helps, at least in the start, because the hardest part is kind of getting through the doorstep. I don't know if that's a saying. It's a saying in Norwegian, but getting through the doorstep is the most important part. So once you have the shop and everything set up, I think just start posting anything, and then you'll see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, try to fail.
Yeah.
Start taking action.
Start taking action. That's we preach that all the time. Just take imperfect action. And you guys were kind of alluding to that earlier when you were saying, just get started, just start posting stuff, just get your store set up. It's so powerful. And I think a lot of people get analysis paralysis. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And then they do nothing. You know,
they plan everything, and like, I have to do this and this, and then it ends up with not doing anything. And just planning. And
I think actually on TikTok, to really give some actionable insights. If you scroll on TikTok and you see something that's viral, even if it doesn't have to do anything, if you know Theo Von, for example, if you create like a Theo Von.
Theo Von, the comedian.
Theo Von, yes. If you could make it like a t-shirt store with some quotes that he has. I don't know if that's copyright or nothing. I'm not a financial advisor, as they say, but you could just create like a TikTok account with funny clips of him saying things, like short form video content. And then if people go into the bio, they will see, they have a merch store. I mean, examples like this, it doesn't have to directly correlate with your product. If your videos get views, then people will try to investigate more. Yeah, so it doesn't really have to do anything with your products, really.
So good.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. Well, I think a lot of people are going to want to hear more from you guys, or if people did want to reach out to you guys, what would you say is the best way to reach you guys? Is that what handles, where should they find you, or where should they contact you?
Yeah, maybe Instagram is the easiest, if people are able to spell the names, I think.
And we'll put all that down in the show notes, so everybody can, they can spell your name and everything, but reach out on Instagram.
We're happy to discuss anyone who would like to, discuss anything, really.
Absolutely.
Cool. And what would the handle be? What would the Instagram handle be?
It's Koster Skjorta.
And Letztes store. Letztes store.
Yeah.
Letztes store. How do you spell that? I'm gonna write it down so I can put it in the
write it down. That may be easier.
You can write it in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
We'll get it all from you. We'll make sure it's posted down in the show notes below for anybody listening. If you're on YouTube, we'll put it in the description. So thank you guys so much for being here.
This was so much fun.
It was
Have
so cool.
fun on your travels. Keep up the great work, and we're excited to chat with you again in the future and just kind of see your continued success. It's very inspiring. So congratulations on all your success. Very well deserved, and all the best to you guys moving forward.
Hey,
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
thanks for having us.
Thank you guys. Talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Print on Demand Playbook podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us an honest review on whatever platform you're listening on. Thanks again for listening and have a great day.